Hi, millionaires. You are tuning in to Suddenly Still Podcast, episode 14. Today's topic we're going to discuss is money problems. I truly feel like everybody experiences money problems at different levels. I just want to start by saying, for one, if you are watching this on YouTube, make sure that you are commenting below, following us on all social media platforms. And if you are listening in on any of the major podcast platforms that we are on, Spotify, Apple Music, Pandora, wherever you are listening in, make sure that you add Suddenly Still Podcast to your podcast listen list. And make sure you're following us on all platforms. But anyways, today we're going to discuss money problems. I truly feel like people have the misconception with money problems that if you have more money, more problems, and if you don't have any money, you already have problems because you're broke. But I feel like everybody experience money problems. Like I truly believe that having money or making money, making a whole lot of money, that does not make you rich. But keeping money will make you rich and it can make you rich. For one, people tend to make a lot of money and then mishandle that money. We buy clothes and shoes and we have that I deserve mentality. Or I deserve this and I deserve that because I work so hard. Or I deserve this and I deserve that because I put in the work, the blood, sweat, and tears. Or because I didn't get this as a child or I didn't do this. Like we have that I deserve mentality. And unfortunately, the I deserve mentality hinders us so much. Because we deserve so much, we lack so much. We don't know how to put our money into good use. We should use money as a tool to make us more money so that our money is continuously in rotation. And that way we can get rich or we can generate generational wealth or whatever we so have, whatever our hearts desire. But we can never do that because we deserve so much. If you stop deserving so much, you'll get the things that your heart desires. But you can't do that with the I deserve mentality. I deserve a trip because I have this amount of money or that amount of money. You do, but there's also a time and a place. When we first get money, like for me, I can say I mishandled money. When I first started making a lot of money, my first $45,000 a month, this was in 2021. I made $45,000 in 1 month, $20,000 here and there. And I remember like going to get my when I got my Mustang truck. I got the Mustang Mach E, and I was just so happy about it because I deserved that truck because I had manifested it out loud. And for one, not only did I manifest it, it finally came out. I had been wanting this truck since 2018, 19 when it first started airing on advertisement. So for me, that truck was an accomplishment. I didn't need that truck at that time. I could have got it now. I could have been so much further ahead if I would have just waited. But I got what I got. And then not only that, I had just got my Camaro in March of 2021. So, I had just got my Lincoln in June of 2020. So I didn't need I didn't need a car. And then when I really, really was like, when I first started making money in 2020, I paid $10,000 to pay my first Camaro off. Paid that Camaro off a month or two later. Went and got the Lincoln truck. I leased that because I didn't really know if I wanted it or not. I paid to get out of that lease in order to finally purchase my 2020 Camaro, and that was a March 2021. And then in June, July of 2021, I went ahead and got the Mustang. Now I'm sitting here like I have two cars. I did not pay my cars off in full because I wanted the credit. I wanted the revolving credit because I had just paid off a car. So, me being financially literate, I need something revolving on my credit. Yes, I had credit cards, but I like to have a good mix. So, of course, I financed them both. I put down a good amount, but I financed them both. And I only put down a good amount just so I could have a lower car payment a month because I had the money to buy them cash. But it's like, okay, now I did think there. Why would I take a lump sum of money out of my bank account to pay a whole car, $50,000, $60,000 truck, for what? When I can make small payments and use that money in my bank account to go invest, flip, and profit, and then use my credit and credit lines to invest, flip, profit, and use the money in my bank account to be paying them credit lines down. Like I had sense. Don't get me wrong. But I didn't need two cars. I did not deserve that. So in the end of the day, I ended up selling my Camaro like a few months ago because I'm like I don't drive it no more. Like when I was pregnant, it was very uncomfortable for me to get in and out the car. Then I have a family. My husband is 6'5". My daughter is about to be 6. Her legs are long. Her getting in the back of Camaro was just getting annoying to her. So we was not. I was the Camaro was sitting. I knew the value it had, and I literally made 5 figures back. I literally bought my car for I think 29,000 when I did, and I sold it for about the same amount. So really, I no, it was like 26,000 because I had a trade in, and I sold it for the same amount. So literally, I didn't. It really didn't depreciate, if I'm honest. So I was able to make. I think I owed like $11,000 left because I was really just dropping money on it. So I owed like $11,000 left, and yeah, I remember just having a $14,000 check. I don't know, God darn it, and I do not care. I remember my check was like $14,000 in profit. So that liability turned into an asset, and I was able to do a lot. With that little 14K. I'm not gonna say little. That's a good amount of money. 14K. I was able to do a lot with it, but for me, it was like I just got tired of like I was just sitting on assets. And then it's like, yeah, I could have put it on Turo, I could have rented it out, I could have did all that, but it's like I don't feel like being bothered. Like I don't want to be bothered with people. I don't like being bothered with people. Like my businesses run themselves. I don't have to talk to anybody. My team handles everything. If I started this car rental business like I've been wanting to do, I was gonna have to be like I know how to do it. I know how to start it. I know how to run it. I can run a rental business tomorrow. But in the end of the day, I don't like to be bothered. I don't want to be customer service and all that no more. I did all that. I done paid my dues. I'm good. I'm going into year 4 with the Millionaire Table, and we're doing fairly well. And I don't want to relapse and go backwards and go and be in all these people. Like, I've really been able to focus on my podcast. I've been able to focus on my life, content creating, and just being in other aspects of me versus just being business me. Like I've been able to focus on my family. I cook every day or every other day, if anything. And I have been able to just relax because business is flowing without me. So I feel like starting a business that needs me. And that's one reason why I got out of Airbnb. Like, yeah, I loved it overall because, I mean, it was a great experience. I always had a unit so I can go vacation in. And then, of course, my units, when I did get them in a good area, they were booked up really good. But then again, there's downsides to that, too. There were times where I was inconvenienced because my lock boxes didn't work, and I had to go to my units to go add my electronic lock didn't work, and I had to go add a key lock box on my units. It's just times where I was inconvenienced. So, anywho, when you have money, or when you don't have money, you have problems regardless. Money problems come at whatever level that you're at. If you don't have enough money, then there's a problem there. Money is actually not a problem at that point. You just need more of it. But I truly feel like if we learn how to manage what we have, we'll get somewhere. Like when it comes down to not making enough money, well, there's no way to really kind of like make more. There's not really a way to make more of what you don't have except for going out to get more of it, if that makes sense. Like if you only have a little bit of money and all you have is your bill money, then that's all you have. You can't generate more from what you already have unless you go out there and get more. That's how you change that. And if you have a lot of money, well, you need to make sure that you're investing into the right things because a lot of money will turn into a little bit of money very fast if you don't. And this is why millionaires go from rich to poor very fast, or from rich or and wealthy to not, to bankruptcy. From millionaires to bankrupt. From billionaires to bankrupt. If you see all these millionaires and billionaires filing bankruptcy, it's because it's not because they broke. They still got more money than you. But in the end of the day, they had money problems. They invested into the wrong thing, or they overinvested into something when they should have invested a little bit, or they put all their eggs in one basket and it didn't work out and the eggs are all now cracked, or something. The business is not as profitable anymore. It's making money, but it's not generating enough money to operate to where we are making profit. Revenue and profit are two different things. Let's not have a business class here, guys. But so in the end of the day, when we're judging people and when we're looking at people in their situation, know that everybody have money problems. Money problems, I think, that's one problem that I feel like everyone has at some point. Not to say you'll always have a bad relationship with money, but that's why your relationship with money needs to be secure. You need to know what it is. Even when you're at your lowest, you need to know where you want to be. When I used to be at my lowest, one thing I used to always manifest is success and prosperity over my life and the things I want to do. I used to be on social media. I was the same star Ericka on social media back in 2018, 19, and 17, 2017, 18, 19, just praying, always praying and showing people where I was in life. I was at the bottom of the food chain, y'all. I was literally going to Amscot and getting Amscot cash advances. I used to get $500, and every other week I used to have to give it back on my paycheck schedule, and then I used to have to get back 552. I know 300 is 331, 400 is 441, and then 500 was 552 you had to pay back. So $52 on top of the 500. And I used to literally flip Amscot cash advances. So I was working, I was running my beauty bar at the time, so I was doing hair, selling products and all of that. And then I ended up getting an overnight job at the end of 2000 of the at the end of 2017, when I was like 7 months pregnant with my daughter, because business just got slow, and I was just like kind of tired of, like, the rat race, and not just tired of the rat race, but like the slow seasons. That was my first time like being full on entrepreneur from January that year till the end of the year. So from January to December, I was doing hair the whole year. I had a $700 car note at the time. I was just doing a lot. I was making like $1,000 a week, and that was good money at that time back in 2017, when my rent was like $795. But all that to say, money problems still came. At some point, I literally repoed my first car, my brand new Chrysler, because I was tired of paying $696 a month. So I got into that car note expecting, because the salesman told me, oh, after 6 months, you can come back and you can refinance. Well, he lied, because as soon as I drove off the lot, within those 6 months, my car had depreciated so much, I was upside down $16,000. It wasn't even worth what I had paid for it. So again, money problems come, but that's where financial literacy is at. And that's why I preach financial literacy so much, and why I wrote the book Millionaire Secrets. Not because this book is going to make you a millionaire, but because this book is going to teach you the basis of finance, the basis of credit. And it's going to teach you how to repair your credit, how to fix things and remove negative items off your credit. It teaches you those things that the top 1% ain't going to tell you, because they're already there. They're not going to care that you're not there. So my whole point is, this is why I wrote Millionaire Secrets. It's not just to teach you about credit or credit repairs, to teach you about business credit, business loans, how to build your business, all that kind of stuff. Because money problems come at any stage. And you have to learn to grow with it. You have to learn how to manage your money, manage those things. Because in the end of the day, you can have a lot of money, and again, you mishandle the money. So then what do you do now? Or you don't know how to start a business, or get outside of the 9 to 5 mentality, where you can work a 9 to 5 and still have a side hustle. Because I promise you need about 2 to 3 jobs to live in this world these days. So in the end of the day, money problems come at any level. You just have to learn how to navigate through those times and those troubled times. Like, you have to learn how to learn a little bit more about finances. Become more financially literate, so that in the end of the day, you're able to navigate those money problems, because you're going to have them at every level. And if you don't know how to manage your money at a low level, you're going to get way more money, and you're going to be way more broke. Because I promise you, at the higher level, your bills be higher, your liabilities be higher, everything be higher. And yeah, you got more money, but you do have more bills, because you have more overhead and all of that. Especially if you're running a business, you got a team, you got more people relying on your income, versus you just going to work, clocking in and clocking out. So in the end of the day, I did not want to make this video long. So I know that I stated in the last episode that we were going to do 15 episodes for season 1 of Suddenly Still podcast. Unfortunately, if I did 15 episodes, then that 15th episode would go into January 2nd, 2024. And I did not want season 1 to spill over into 2024, especially because I have so much planned for 2024, and I just don't want to start the year off that way. So unfortunately, this will be the last episode of Suddenly Still podcast season 1. I just want to say thank you guys so much for tuning in. I know that our podcast didn't get a chance to grow as big as I wanted it to grow within this last, within the time frame that I have, but it has grown so much since my birthday, September 26th. This has been an amazing journey to just navigate life's challenges in honor of my son, Liam. My stillborn experience and my stillbirth experience really led me to find a new purpose in life. And it taught me how to navigate life's challenges in the middle of life challenges. Because in the end of the day, life does not stop because we're hurting. Life does not stop because we're going through so much. Life does not stop because in the end of the day, it has to keep going in order to keep going to get us to where we're meant to be. Like pain and all of that stuff, it happens, life happens, things happen, but that's not where we're meant to lay. It's not where we're meant to rest in. We're supposed to continue to keep going, and we're forced to keep going because I promise you, the day is not going to stop. It's going to go day and night and day and night, and you're going to go hour for hour and day for day and minute for minute until you learn how to navigate life's challenges, how to grow through the pain, how to go through the pain. And you grow and you go and you grow and you go and you keep growing, because in the end of the day, you get stronger and stronger. And every trial and tribulation that we face, we get stronger and stronger. If we might not be able to see it while we're in the middle of it, but I promise you, when the smoke clears, you'll be able to see just how much stronger you are. You're powerful. You can do all things through Christ that strengthens you. Because at the end of the day, I pray about any and everything I want to do in life, anything and everything I have planned for myself. I pray that my plans always align with God's plans. I don't like to be disappointed, and I don't like to feel defeated. But in the end of the day, that disappointment and defeat is what made me who I am today. If I didn't have those no's or the rejection that I did or any type of hardships that I faced, I wouldn't know how to navigate. Maybe if I wouldn't have lost my son, I wouldn't be sitting here today. I always say, like, what can I do to honor my boy? And it was I couldn't rest in grief. At first, I was gonna make a podcast just about grief and heartache and just the things what I lost, focusing on what I lost, which of course I lost my son. I can never get my child back. So in the end of the day, I didn't want to rest in grief. I wanted to learn how to navigate in the middle of all of that. That's why I didn't do my podcast until a time where I was ready to move forward and honoring my son in a different way. I'm not going to honor him just focusing on what I lost, but what I did gain. I gained purpose. I gained a new purpose. Yes, having my daughter gave me a meaning in life. It gave me a reason. She gave me just so much. And then my son gave me a new purpose, a newfound purpose. And that purpose is just learning how to help others navigate. One thing that someone told me is, dang, God always giving you the issues and the problems because he know you're going to tell it. And I take that, and I didn't even get offended, because I know one thing I'm going to do is tell my story. One thing I'm going to do is tell the goodness of God, no matter who it is or no matter what I'm going through. Always try to find a positive in the middle of what I'm going through. And even when I'm in the middle of it and I can't see a way out, I just pray my way through. I pray my way through. I press my way through, because in the end of the day, I have God. And as long as I have God, it doesn't matter who's against me. It doesn't matter who likes me, who doesn't. Everybody's not going to see my heart. Everybody's not going to see me for who I am. And that's just what I want to give you. Everybody's not going to see you for who you are. Some people are going to have their own depiction of you. They're going to have their own, their thoughts about you and opinions about you. But that doesn't make you who you are. Your character and everything else and the work you do in life is going to always speak for you. So if you rest where people in their negativity and their negative thoughts, if you didn't have those people, those naysayers, then what you going hard for? We don't focus on the people, the negatives and the naysayers. We're doing it for the people who needs us. So when you focus on your why, what you doing it for? Why are you doing it? Why are you going so hard? It's not to impress the naysayers. It's to show, and it's to be the example and the leader that leads the pack. And the pack ain't the naysayers. It's not the negative people. It's the people that need you. So yes, we talked about money problems. We talked about minute by minute. We talked about grief. We talked about miscarriage and stillbirth, child loss, the effects of that, forgiveness, and just we've talked about so much on this podcast. And I can truly say that I have learned how to navigate life's challenges, and I continue to learn how to do so every day, because life is very challenging to live. But we don't have a turn on or a turn off switch, or when problems come and when they stop and when they end. We have to literally grow through and go through and get through them. We have to faith it until we make it. Not fake, faith. We have to faith it until we make it, because we have to lean on God, even in times where things get rough or things get tough or we don't know which way to go. And that's why I said, you guys, if you guys have topics y'all want me to navigate with y'all, please, please, please drop them in the comments below. I will take submissions in the comments below. Do not inbox. Do not do any of that. Make sure you guys drop a comment. Make sure you like videos, share the podcast reels on TikTok, Instagram, everywhere. Share them everywhere. And even on YouTube Shorts. I post YouTube Shorts sometimes, but I just want to continue to grow. I want to focus. Like I said, I'm still going to have my other videos. So I'm going to go back into my normal content, which is credit and finance. I'm going to go back to teaching because it is the top of the year. And this is when people have money. So what is what there's no better way to talk about money and money problems and to get back to teaching about money and how to manage it and how to do this and how to do that than when people finna have the most money of their lives, which is at the top of the year. And so that's my focus. My focus is to get back on business. This last quarter of the year, I focused on this podcast. I did the entire quarter was dedicated to my podcast. I didn't really do much about business this last quarter. I just wanted to rest. I have been on go for the last 4 years almost. May of 2024 will make 4 years since the Millionaires table has been up and running. And I've been running. I've been on go. 2022, I was forced to take the year off because I was sick. In 2023, I voluntarily took the year off so I could focus on my mental health, just focus on me, focus on my family, just living life every day because I literally almost lost my life in the midst of trying to bring life into the world. And I lost his life. And it's just, I couldn't stay there. I remember getting a bear, the heartbeat bear that everyone gets, well, not saying everyone, but a lot of people get to hear their child's heartbeat and stuff like that, whether they're alive or passed away. And I got the bear and I realized I sent the bear right back to Amazon because I realized that's not going to help me. It's not going to help me navigate. It's not going to help me heal. It's only going to continue to remind me of what I don't have. I can never hear that beating heart. So it's like things like going to the gravesite. I hadn't actually been to my son's grave since his headstone got laid down in August. I didn't go back to his birthday, which was November 29th, 2023. And I didn't go back. I haven't been back since because I don't have the desire to rest in a grief-filled place, a saddened, heartbroken, sorrowful place. I can't stay there. I have a child that's alive that needs me. I have a husband. I have a family. I have a team. I have so many people that rely on me, and I also need me. And my son, unfortunately, he does not need me. I'm not even going to say unfortunately. Fortunately, my son does not need me, and I think I have finally gotten to that place. It has been a year since that day. My son is now a year old. And I know that his little chunky cheeky self is up there looking at me like, Mama, what are you doing? What are you doing? Continue to do that podcast like I gave you. I gave you that podcast so you can continue to it's like I feel like I have been so consistent with the podcast just in honor of my son, and I've been pushing this podcast so much because it's like my way of honoring him without grieving him in a bad way or without forgetting him or without forgetting what it was that he was meant to do for me. He did so much for me, and just carrying him, bringing him to life, it was so powerful just to have Liam in my body. And I named him Champ, and there's no champion without Champ. And I was the champion. He was the champ. And we were one and the same. And it's like he served his purpose. His season was up. And it's now time for me to continue on and continue on to the finish line. That's what I've been doing ever since then. And I can truly say, like, Suddenly Still Podcast has been my baby, literally. And I have absolutely enjoyed putting my all into this podcast. I have edited it. I have produced it. I have done 2 angles and 1 angles and everything. And it's just been me on this podcast. I didn't want to bring anyone on, and I may bring people on, like I said, in 2024. I have so much planned. I think I want to bring on guests, and even if it's not random guests, but like my husband, and just hearing his point of view of things, and my daughter. I know we went viral on Instagram and TikTok and on Facebook. From a video that I posted, because I do try to post like videos every now and then. When I'm in my feelings, I just create little videos, and I didn't expect it to do what it did. So of course my daughter's been trending lately in her amazing ways, and I do want to just slowly maybe introduce her to the world in that aspect. Everybody know Marvelous Toots. She is Marvelous Toots on Facebook and Instagram and TikTok. So make sure y'all follow her. Follow my family channel, which is the Simpson Squad 1. The Simpson Squad number 1 is my family channel. I'm going to focus on there. I'm going to continue to focus on content creation. I am a paid content creator, so I definitely want to continue to just put my energy there and get back to teaching. And that's what my YouTube channel is going to be back focused on: credit and finance and teaching. And then season 2 of Suddenly Still Podcast will come back, and I'm going to try my best to do 15 episodes for that one. It's going to be again every Tuesday, 6 p.m. EST. When I do return, I will be announcing on our social media platforms. So make sure you are following Suddenly Still Podcast on all platforms, and look out for updates, because I might just come in with just an encouraging word. I might just come on with an encouraging video. It might not be no new episodes for the podcast, but I might just come on just to say hi or something and just create something for y'all. But in the meantime, make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe. And when you are notified of that new video, every time I post, make sure that you actually go watch that video. Again, thank y'all so much for tuning in, Millionaires. It has been a great ride. And this is until next time, Suddenly Still Podcast. And we're signing out for season 1. Have a great one.